Working with the Short Center rep is really a new, interesting experience for me. I think most interestingly out of all is the fact that I work with a blind woman, and one of the performers is a blind woman. And it's interesting because with her background, it's orally, auditorily based, and my background is visually based. So we're both depend on one thing that the other person does not have, has not experienced. But it's really nice that we can accomplish and overcome this challenge and make our interaction on stage really believable within our role. And that's going to be really nice, and it's going to be nice to see that happen. I recently was exposed to most of his writing just a little while ago, and I've seen a couple of his short plays, and I have seen Short Center rep perform some of his plays. But I believe last year, in the fall of last year, I got one of his books and actually read it and all of his work that had been printed. And I think Ives is really a master in the art of short, little glimpses into daily life of whoever. So a lot of stories really are surreal, but the situation in itself is a common everyday situation. So that's where we're connected with the common every day with the surreal. You know, can I really understand the experiences we have, and because we as the common person have had that experience. Iceworm is a theater company that was founded and run to provide theater venues for the ASL community. ASL means American Sign Language. ASL community does not just incorporate deaf people, but family members, interpreters, and our company provide improv show in ASL with voice interpreters. We also performed comedy skits, would range from a full dialogue with a voice interpreter all the way to a pantomime performance, depending on the audience. We also provided theater interpreter services, generally, and workshops, usually on ASL application within the theater. I am working on many things simultaneously. I'm rehearsing for this show. I also have my one-man show, Crom Mania, which I tour. It's a nationwide tour, and this weekend I'll go to the Bay Area, and I'll perform 4 times in one weekend. So I'm always doing review work and rehearsal, and a person who's going to be voicing with me and working on the timing of that and the tour of that. So I'm rehearsing that too right now, plus rehearsing for this show, for Short Center rep. And also I'm working freelance as a technician for several different productions. I'm always doing something with whatever free time I have. And soon I will be moving to the East, so I'll start all over again with networking there and establishing right now as myself as a performer and a writer and a tech person in the East. One thing it's to sign on stage, but another to perform with ASL, which is a big difference. Almost like you can read, it's a cold reading as opposed to performing the role, would be a comparison of the two. So we discuss different ways to use the language on stage, or how to interpret the theatrical experience rather than just straight interpretation. One thing I've noticed in the theater community is that Sacramento as a whole and most of the theater companies here are very open, very accommodating, very welcoming of all different people, of all different backgrounds. Some other places that I've heard horror stories, how it's very cutthroat, and if you have a disability or you have very little experience, it's impossible to get into the door. But here, since the 7 years that I've been working here, and I've started from no theater training, no experience, to becoming a performer that travels nationwide, plus interpreting experience and writing experience and tech experience. It's just, it's equal to some of the people who have to go to college classes to get it. So it's here, it's just an awesome, awesome, great community here for people who want to be involved and are involved in theater.